Park Güell was originally designed as a residential estate. Güell commissioned Antoni Gaudí to build a housing project on a large estate. The construction of Park Güell, as per the plan, began in October 1900. However, the project failed and only 2 houses were built within the estate by 1914 when the project was abandoned. However, many of the other creations such as the high postile room had been completed and Park Güell became a private garden where events would be held. Park Güell opened to the public as a municipal park in 1926. The design was inspired by nature. Antoni Gaudí's fascination with the natural world is evident in all his works, and particularly so in the case of Park Güell. The park's design was created so that it blends with the natural environment in which it was situated, working with the mountain's topography. His commitment to the principles of natural creation is the reason why there are no straight lines in his designs. Gaudí believed straight lines didn't occur naturally. Throughout Park Güell, you will find undulating lines or curves that mimic natural formations such as trees, shells, plants, and rocks. Park Güell gets its name from Gaudí's patron. The original housing project for which Gaudí was approached was the pet project of a Catalan aristocrat, and Gaudí's longtime patron and friend, Güell. The project drew its inspiration from the British residential parks. The park was hence named after Gaudí's patron and his source of inspiration. Antoni Gaudí lived in one of the houses. In 1906, Gaudí, at Güell's suggestion, moved into the park and lived in one of the 2 show houses that had been completed. Interestingly enough, the house had not been designed by him. It was the creation of Francesc Berenguer. Gaudí moved into the house in Park Güell with his family and elderly father. He lived here until his death in 1926. The house where Gaudí resided is now open to the public as the Gaudí House Museum. It contains furniture and other items he designed and used during his lifetime. The high postile room was intended to have a different purpose. The high postile room, one of the emblematic features of Park Güell, was originally designed as a marketplace for the residents of the estate. The room was created by drawing inspiration from Roman temples and has 86 winding columns. Inside, a conduit collects rainwater that filters from the square and sends it to the underground tank. The mouth of the dragon on the stairway serves as its overflow. The ceiling designed using tile shard mosaics was the handiwork of Josep M. Güell, one of Gaudí's assistants. Austria Gardens was meant to be housing plots. The zone that is now known as Austria Garden was initially allotted to be used as plots for houses. However, after Park Güell opened to the public, the zone came to be used as a municipal plant nursery. In 1977, the Austrian government donated trees to the park, which is why the zone has been named so. You can enjoy great views of the park from here and from its center. You can view the 2 houses that were built on this property. The park was originally envisaged as a modern housing estate. This is perhaps the most surprising fact about the Park Güell. It wasn't originally planned to be a park at all. Rather, Gaudí's plan was to create a modern housing estate far from the smog and chaos of the city down below. His plans called for houses with modern conveniences such as running water as well as facilities such as a market, a laundry room, a church and a public square. However, these plans were soon abandoned. The plot of land for the park was built in 1900 and work began on the creation of 2 buildings there, a guardian's house and a model house which would serve to attract investors. However, the plan was unsuccessful and ultimately the project had to be abandoned. Work on the project terminated in 1914 and in 1926 the plot was officially opened as a public park. It was originally spelt in the English form park. The original name given to the Park Güell by Antoni Gaudí was with the English word park. The reason is that the architect was inspired by the British Garden City movement of the 19th century, whereby housing communities were designed with both outdoor areas and industrial and commercial areas alongside them. Antoni Gaudí lived in the park until he died. When no one decided to invest in Güell and Gaudí's houses, the project was abandoned and in 1906, Gaudí bought the model house which had been built on the plot. He lived here with his family until he died in 1926, knocked over by a tramcar in Barcelona and left to die after he was mistaken for a pauper because of his modest attire. Güell too had acquired the prestigious Lorard house, which already stood on the land when he bought it. Most people assume that all the houses which are found in the Park Güell were designed by Gaudi, but in fact this isn't true. Not only that, but the house in which Gaudi resided, these days open to the public as the somewhat confusingly named Gaudi House Museum, was actually designed by another Catalan architect, Francesc Berenguer. There's more to the Park Güell than you think. These days most people who visit the Park Güell only explore the main area, also known as the monumental area, where much of Gaudi's work can be seen. However, the park itself extends to the back of the monumental area and includes some nice walks among native trees and plants. What's more, only the monumental area charges for access while the other area is free of charge and offers equally impressive views of the city. One of the consequences of Gaudi's commitment to the principles of natural creation is that there are no straight lines in his designs, as the architect claimed there were none in nature. Instead, he favors slanted lines or organic curves which mimic the way objects such as trees, shells, plants and rocks are formed. One of the most photographed features of the Park Güell is the colorful salamander which guards the staircase in the monumental area. This creation is also a fine example of the style of mosaic work which Gaudi would become famous for, trincadis, meaning chopped in Catalan. The technique involves using small pieces of chopped ceramics cemented together.